Okay, good. So you're good.
Okay.
For those of you doing a major negative emotion, write that one down. So it could be anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt. Any of those, or a variation of those that I just said. You can pick. So let's go around the room. Let's start again with Adrian. Adrian, which one is it that you picked?
I picked the limiting emotion.
Okay. And
No, the limiting belief, the limiting
yeah,
belief. You want to know what it is? Is that what you
yeah,
said?
yeah.
I started this new career about a year ago, and my limiting belief is that I'm not going to be as successful as I feel like I need to be.
Okay. Not going to be successful as I. Did you say as I? What was the last part? I'm
As
not
I
going to
need
be
to be.
as I
I
need
want
to
to,
be. Got
yeah,
it.
got a son going to medical school. I want to pay for it. So,
Oh, wonderful.
great.
Okay. Awesome. Would you like to release that today?
I would, yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Nicole?
Anger, guilt.
Okay, anger and guilt. Would you like to release that today?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Christine?
I have, I question my leadership abilities.
Okay. So if you question your leadership abilities, what is the limiting belief? Why
That
do you do that?
I just am not the leader that I need to be.
Okay. Would you like to release that?
That
belief?
would be lovely.
Okay. I'm not the leader. I'm not, what's the end? I'm not the leader that
I'm not a strong enough leader.
I'm not a strong enough leader. Strong leader. Wonderful. Gina.
The limiting belief that my business has stopped with the flow of abundance and new clients.
Okay. My business has stopped with the flow of abundance and clients. Would you like to release that today?
Yes, please.
Virginia?
I don't know. Okay. So limiting belief. My paintings aren't flying off the shelves like I thought they should be.
Okay. And why are they not flying off the shelf?
Because I don't have a studio to paint more things.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you like to release that?
I would love to release that.
Okay. Awesome. Love that mug. It's great. Goes great with your corner, the power corner.
Yeah. Guys, my new power corner.
I have a studio. All right. Colleen?
I have this crazy personal thing that I am always so upset because I'm overweight, and it makes me really struggle that I get nervous if I'm in front of people. I always like to meet realtors, and I'm always afraid that I'm too fat and too old to fit in with them. And I struggle with that all the time. I feel like people look at me like, oh my God, she must eat like a ton of food. And like, I don't know, it's just like I get these terrible negative feelings about my weight.
Okay. And if we were to say, put that in a few words, Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. I'm just, my weight holds me back.
Okay. So my weight holds me back.
Yeah,
Is that something like to release today?
absolutely. If you can help solve that, oh my gosh, it would help me feel better.
My weight holds me back. Wonderful. And when I say wonderful, excellent, and you're telling me, negative emotion, limiting belief,
Mhm.
is because I can either say, ooh, or yikes, or I can say, excellent, wonderful, gonna release that today. So which reaction would you rather me have?
I want to release it today. Excellent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, excellent. Cherie?
Hello. I would like the ability to move on. I since my husband passed, I'm so used to having him be in charge of so much stuff in the house and just in general that I've come a long way in making my own decisions and decisions for my kids, but I kind of need to go the next step as far as moving on with myself, just on a personal level.
Yeah.
Kind of like redefine myself a little bit more now.
Wonderful. And
That was a lot of words.
that was a lot of words. And
Ability to move on.
ability to move on. Yeah. You are one step ahead of us, because what you just described is where you're going, is your new future. Why aren't you able to move on right now?
I guess I feel a little guilty that I always feel like I could have done more to help my husband when he was going through his cancer and stuff. There wasn't anything I could do. I was with him 24/7. But I guess I feel a little guilty that I couldn't save him. I mean, I don't know.
Would you like to release guilt today?
Sure.
Okay. Is that greater than a limiting belief of to have the ability to move on? Because
I guess it is. I guess it is more of I guess it's more of that than a limiting belief. Yeah.
okay.
So can I change my answer from before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is
Yeah.
totally fine. And
Okay.
I love how you started it. You started with saying what you want. You want the ability to move on.
Mhm.
So that's great. You one step ahead of us already in the process. Okay, so we're gonna do guilt. I'm gonna release guilt today for you. Andrea.
I don't want to go after Sherry. You're making me cry. Oh,
Sorry.
already we haven't even started. I'm
Oh,
crying.
you started the release work. You're doing the release work already.
For Sherry, yeah. Okay, I went with limiting belief that I can't grow my business enough to supplement our household income and get out of debt.
Can grow my business enough.
The I can't, is
Yeah.
always there.
Okay. Would you like to release that today?
Just get it the hell out of here. Yes.
Yeah. Let's do it. Kathy.
So I get this emotion of jealousy, even like I can work myself through it, but I would like it not to surface. And it's jealousy over not only other people's businesses, but like, relationships within my family, just anything. I get kind of this envy, green-eyed envy, and I work it through. I get out of it, but I just want it to stop happening.
Okay. Just make sure it stops happening. Did you say green eye envy or green? What was it that you said?
I think it's like green envy. Isn't that like the term? Yeah,
Green with
Green
it.
envy. Okay. Green
I think
envy.
it's green with envy is the whole.
that's it. Something like,
Yeah.
some term like that. I don't know. I
You
just
can
hate
have
it.
green
'cause, like,
eyes too, but I think the phrase is green with envy. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just hate it because it just sucks the energy from me and I got to work through it. And I am able to work through it, but it's like, why do I even get that feeling?
Wonderful.
Yeah, I got this hat my mom gave me, like 7 of them. And I was like, why would I ever wear that hat? But I'm gonna find somebody to like put alpaca over it.
That's great. Okay. Would you like to release jealousy and envy today, Kathy?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Michelle.
Mine is that I am not good enough.
Oh, wonderful. Would you like to release that today?
Yes, please.
Michelle, you and Cherie are kind of leading there with what you're working on. It's wonderful. Not good enough is one of those things that when people release, it releases so much with it. There's a concept that I'm going to speak about later in the class, but kudos for you or to you. Suzanne.
I think my limiting belief is that I'm not strong enough to overcome my health challenges that I'm having.
Okay, not strong enough. Would you like to release that today?
Definitely.
Andrea Burnett.
Fear.
Fear. Would you like to release that today?
Yes.
Wonderful. Lisa Church.
I have the limiting belief that I will always have to work for an employer and I will not be able to make my business sustainable enough to support the income I want.
Okay. So
And I
always-
definitely want to release that.
Wonderful. So it's let's make that a few. So tell me again one more time. And
So that I won't be able to make my business at the level of income that I want it to generate. And I will always need to rely on working for an outside employer.
generate income. Okay, wonderful. Cindy.
Mine is the same as Michelle's, that I feel like I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough at work. I'm not good enough as a mom. I'm not good enough as a wife. It's all encompassing that I don't measure up.
Would you like to release that today?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Rosanna.
I would like to work on my limiting belief that that I might not be a good facilitator for my equine therapy program.
Not a good facilitator.
And like Andrea, not be able to draw enough business to sustain it.
Would you like to release that today?
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful.
So Fernando, Jillian just jumped on and she just said she wants to release the feeling that I am responsible for things outside my control.
Okay. And that's Jillian or Julian? Jillian.
Yeah.
Jillian. Okay.
And Lisa just texted me that she is like Andrea, unable to bring my business to support my family and pay off debt.
Okay, let's go. Let me write down Jillian first. So Jillian is responsible for things outside of my control. Ask Julian, why does she feel she's responsible for things outside of her control? And while you do that, is there
Yeah, and
another
then
one?
Lisa from the Invite an Enchanted Princess.
Oh yeah, so which one is for Lisa?
She said, just like Andrea, she wants to, she's afraid about her business being to the point where she can support her family and pay off her debts.
Support. So what's supporting family, paying off that is the goal. Why doesn't she have that now? Would be the limiting belief.
She's afraid, she's unable to bring her business to that level.
Unable to bring business to them. Okay.
And Jillian responded on the chat.
Okay. Business. Go ahead and read it to me, please.
She wrote, I do more than what's expected from me, and I feel people come to depend on it.
Why? Yeah, yeah. Let's do one or more 2 rounds of why there. That way we get to.
I feel responsible for other people's success. So you feel like somebody's crutch, Jillian?
Okay, I feel responsible for other people's success. Why?
She has an overblown ego.
What's that?
She says, because I have an overblown ego.
I have an overblown ego. I have an overblown ego. And how's that a problem?
That I'm trying to cover up insecurity by feeling important, needed, and necessary.
Okay, trying to cover up. Why?
Poor Jillian.
She's usually very chatty, but she
Yeah.
her window.
Yeah, they've ceased the jackhammering for a moment, so maybe I don't know why.
Well, you wrote in there insecurity by feeling those things. So maybe they release the insecurity.
Yeah, that seems like the root thing.
I'm just reading what you wrote.
Absolutely.
I'm not dissecting you.
Okay. So just to be clear, Jillian, let's do this. Let's get into our next phase, which is a meditation, and then we'll come back to Jillian so we get a nice, precise limiting belief there, which helps. Specificity helps in this process, and it's an unconscious process. So for most of today's class so far, we've been doing somewhat of a conscious process. And the conscious mind can process, can work, can handle about 100 bits of information per second. In contrast, the unconscious mind can handle, can process, can work with 1 million, not a million, 11 million bits of information per second. So 11 million bits of information per second, processing power, working power versus 100. The unconscious mind is what we also call the parasympathetic system. It is the mind that keeps your body running. It's what keeps your heart beating. It's what keeps your heart beating, your digestion working when you're not thinking about it, your hair growing, your nails growing, your skin healing and creating new cells each day. Most of the work we're going to do from now on will be with that mind. And you can trust that mind because it has kept you alive all these years. Even before you were born, your heart was beating and it's still beating. And the conscious mind is not the one controlling it, managing it. The conscious mind is the mind that does the commentary. It's here to add a little or a lot of spice to life. That's as a good reframe. The unconscious mind is here to keep your body alive. So when I ask questions from now on, you can ask your unconscious mind that question and let the unconscious mind answer. So let's practice that now. I'm gonna ask, give me a number, shout out a number between 0 and 10, any number.
7.
Between 10 and 100.
55.
100 and 1,000.
91.
30.
1,000.
333.
1,000 and 10,000.
5,000.
2,545.
Wonderful. Let's do that one more time. Shout out a number between 0 and 10.
8.
10 and 100.
14.
90.
100 and 1,000.
980.
45.
388.
1,000 and 10,000.
2,545.
8,888.
Wonderful. Let's do that one more time. Shout out a number from 0 to 10.
3.
9.
10 to 100.
54.
88.
100 to 1,000.
154.
950.
1,000 to 10,000.
1,555.
9,500.
So where that number's coming from, it's very likely the unconscious mind. So when I ask questions such as, what is the root cause, the first event, which when disconnected will cause the problem to disappear? If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth? You go with the first thing that comes, either to mind, to feeling, to sound, to sensation. You need to trust your heart. It's not a conscious process. There's no way that the conscious mind, the mini computer, can store information of when the root cause was. It does not have enough capacity. So you need to trust your unconscious mind. You need to go with the first thing that comes to mind when I ask those questions. And let's continue. So we cover the unconscious mind. Let's talk about rapport a little bit. So rapport in relationships, some of you may have heard, it's really good. There's mirror matching. There is say using similar words that the other person is using, so you get a rapport. So people that root for the same team, say it could be a team from say the Giants or any other team, when they see each other, they're talking about the same sport, there's rapport, instant rapport there. And it's like meeting a friend. I'd like for you to consider having that relationship with your unconscious mind or your subconscious or the parasympathetic system, so that when you have challenges in life or growth or problems, you can ask that mind, the mind that has kept your body alive all these years, It's so smart. It has kept you alive all these years. Instead of using your conscious mind to do the problem solving, ask your unconscious. It has stored all of your experiences. And with that, we're going to now talk about genealogically passed down trauma or mental emotion or baggage. It could be that what the root cause of the limiting belief or the negative emotion that we're going to release today was passed down genealogically through DNA. It did not happen in this lifetime. So there's no way the conscious mind will remember. So you need to allow your unconscious mind to come forward and give you that answer. There's a study of mice where the mice were in a lab and the scientists wanted to test this idea of mental emotional baggage being passed down genealogically. They wanted to see if it was true. So they put the mice in a cage and they wanted to anchor the mice to being electrocuted and also having sandalwood smoke around them. So they electrocuted the mice, blew sandalwood smoke over and over to the point where they stopped electrocuting mice, only blowing sandalwood smoke, and the mice would freak out as if they were being electrocuted. The mice, they stopped that for a few weeks. The mice had babies. The babies grew. The scientists didn't do anything with that generation. That generation had babies, and the babies grew. So this is now the second generation, the grandkids of the first group. And the scientists blew sandalwood smoke in the cage. And guess what happened?
They freaked out.
They freaked out. They freaked out. They had never been electrocuted. Their parents had never been electrocuted. And that's mice. Now, can you imagine what can be passed down as for humans? So chances are that a good portion of us today will be releasing things that was passed down to us genealogically. So if the answer is, what's the root cause, the first event? Was it before, during, after your birth? If you get the sensation, or if you hear, or if you think of before, just go with it. You gotta trust your unconscious mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay, wonderful. It's 10:03. We have what?
You have 12 minutes, but I'm sure those that need to stay on, if you have to go further, I'm okay with it. If anybody has to jump off, they can jump off. But
Yeah. And plus, yes. And if you have to jump off in the middle of this, you can jump on to any of my classes that I do on a weekly basis, and we can continue the process there. Same thing that we're doing here today. Does anyone need to jump off like in 11 minutes? No? No. Okay, good. All right. So
At 10:30 though.
10:30. Okay, good. So 26 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay, good. All right, so let's now that I'm gonna change my tone of voice to be more fun and playful. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna release some baggage, so that's like we're gonna celebrate in a little bit here. I'm celebrating for you in advance. Let's continue with meditation. Let's continue with the meditation. We're going to do a quick meditation, maybe 5 minutes. And in that meditation, we're going to do also a forgiveness exercise. And you can forgive yourself in that exercise, or you can forgive another person, or you can forgive a group of people. It's I suggest you pick someone specific. It could be yourself, the person you feel you need to forgive the most. So we're going to start with a simple meditation. What this does is it allows the sympathetic system. Sympathetic system is different than the parasympathetic system. The sympathetic system is the stress, fight or flight, is the system that the fear. So we're going to calm that down. So the parasympathetic system, the peace, parasympathetic starts with P. You can link that to peace. And the other one starts with S. You can link that to stress. We want to be in parasympathetic mode as much as possible throughout our days and evenings. That's where healing happens. That's where flow happens. That's where abundance happens. That's where all the good things in life happens. So shall we start the meditation?
Yes.
Wonderful. So let's go ahead and close our eyes and get comfortable wherever you're seated. Start paying attention to maybe your feet, your toes. Just get in a good position. We're going to be here for about 5 minutes or so. And we're going to do 4 deep breaths together. And let's take the first deep breath together. And when we exhale, we're going to do the sound of ha. So let's go ahead and inhale together. One more. Continue breathing normally. If you have a mantra or a prayer, you may begin now. If you don't, focus on the air coming in and out through your nose. We'll be here for a few minutes. Now we're going to start moving to the forgiveness exercise. I'd like you to bring the memory of the person that you want to forgive to your mind's eye. It can be yourself, it can be someone that made you feel a negative emotion today, yesterday, or a long time ago. Who's the person that you need to forgive the most? The forgiveness that, once granted, will allow the session today to be the most successful, the most healing. As you think of that person, make that picture brighter and sharper. Notice the hair. Notice their face, their neck. Notice their clothing, their arms, their legs, their feet. And if appropriate, send healing to this person and allow the healing to come from a healing energy from the top of your head, coming from up above. The energy coming through the top of your head, down your spine, through your heart, into the memory of this person. Completely healing that person. Notice that as the energy moves through your own body, through your own head, through your own spine, it heals you also. You are healing yourself and you're healing the memory of that person. And as you heal your own self, you're healing that memory. Get closer to that picture. Get closer to that person. And if it is you, notice the shift, if any. If it's someone else that you're forgiving, I'd like for you to start noticing their nose, and I'd like for you to start morphing, changing their nose to your nose. Like a video game. Their eyes to your eyes. Their forehead to your forehead. Their mouth to your mouth. Their ears to your ears. And continue morphing completely into that picture. For some, it's easier if you keep the clothes of the other person. And morph completely into the picture and realize that all forgiveness is self-forgiveness. And when you give someone forgiveness, you're actually giving yourself a gift. If it was you that you forgave, you can do the same exercise. Probably be a lot faster to morph into from you to you. And we're going to take 4 deep breaths to come out of this exercise. and come out of meditation. So let's take one deep breath together. One more. Excellent. Move your toes, move your fingers. Start coming back into the room. Start noticing the light in the room. Start opening your eyes slowly. And come back into the room when you're ready. Would anyone like to share their experience before we continue with the release work?
Very emotional. I don't know where it all came from, but yeah, very emotional.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. And Andrea?
So my fear is of the rise of neo-Nazis, angry white men. And when I asked if it was birth or, it was pre-birth, and I've always had a recurring dream of being killed in Germany by a Nazi, and my mother escaped Nazi Germany. And so when I was doing a visualization, what I got was not a present day person, but a young person in green wool. Like I could feel the uniform.
Wow.
And that's what I was interacting with.
Wow. Wonderful. Awesome. And we're going to continue the release work. And you're going to release fear today, correct, Andrea?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Anyone else? Well, okay, good. Sherry? Am I saying your name correctly, Sherry?
Sherry, that's fine.
Sherry. Got it. Sherry.
Yeah. I feel lighter.
Lighter.
Definitely lighter in the chest, lighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the head.
Did you choose
clearer in the head and lighter in the chest.
Wonderful. Clear in the head, lighter in the chest. Did you choose someone specific, or did you choose yourself?
I chose myself.
You chose yourself. Okay.
And then Bob came in. He was there at the beginning, and then I was forgiving myself.
Is that your
That was my husband, sorry.
late
Yeah.
husband? Okay,
Yeah.
Bob. Got it. Wonderful. All right. Shall
Fernando,
we?
Fernando, I'm outside. So when you, and I was very clear with what I was envisioning and what was happening. And when you said, forgive that person, as soon as you said it, the wind kicked up, the chimes started going, and it was that specific time is when that release happened for me. It was a little crazy. Little crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Wow. There's so much energy that we're co-creating here today. We are, just like baggage can get passed down genealogically, we are releasing baggage for the past and also for the future. There's a thing that my teacher, a talk my teacher gives, which is the illusion of time. And we say timeline, go down timeline, past, future, for the sake of the exercise. And there's one way of looking at things where there's no time. So what we're doing now, we're healing the memory of that person who wronged us, whether it was us or someone else. We're healing the past, But what we're actually doing is we're healing the ever now. The ever now. It's always now and then now. So we're healing that constant now by healing the past. We're healing the constant now. So if you have memories, say, of Nazi Germany, past lives, you can also think of, I'm healing that now that's happening at all times. And because we're in physical bodies and we all individuals and separated, not connected physically, we may think that we're not, but we are. So what we're doing here today, it's having a domino effect, a ripple effect that's affecting dozens, maybe even potentially hundreds, if not thousands of people that interact with us energetically. The past, now, or future. So if the wind picks up where you are, it's okay. it's a good thing. So let's jump into
Doing it again. Now that you said it, it's stronger again. It's like a swoop. I'm telling you. And it hasn't been like this whole time I've been out here.
That's funny.
Leaves are flying now.
Well, Andrea, talk to it. Ask questions. Say, hey, do you have a message for me? Is this a sign? You can start, invoking the magician in you, and or whatever label you want to put there. Cool. We can be here for hours talking about this, and we don't have hours today. So let's get into release work. So get comfy. We're going to talk about for about 60 seconds about the timeline. So for the sake of this exercise, I'd like for you to imagine that you store all of your memories in a timeline fashion. So there's past, present, and future. And I'd like for you to use your hand and point to where past is. So if all of your memories are organized in order, where is past to you? Is it front, back, left, right, angle?
Left.
Okay. Where is future?
Right.
Okay, excellent. So everyone has their timeline to work with today. That's wonderful. All right, so we're going to be releasing the negative emotions as well as the limiting beliefs. So when I'm guiding you all through the timeline, for those of you that choose negative emotions, you will do the work for the negative emotions. You're going to do the release work for the negative emotions. For those of you that chose the limiting beliefs, you're going to do the work for the limiting beliefs. Is that clear? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. All right, cool. Have you ever done anything well and it was the first time you did it? Has everyone done something well and it was the first time they did it? Let me see you raise your hands. Okay. Okay, I'd like for you to remember that time when you did something well for the first time and you did it well. Close your eyes. Remember that time. Remember that one thing. It was the first time you did it and you did it well. Feel what you felt. Hear what you heard. See what you saw. That moment, that activity that you did for the first time and you did it well. See it through your own eyes. Look it around. Now come back to now. Just like that, this exercise will happen today. You're going to do it for the first time for most of you, and you're going to do it well. There's no way to do this wrong. This is an unconscious process. which is great because it gets released with zero processing. Who loves that? You get to release this with zero processing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's get comfy. Let's close our eyes. And I'd like for you to float up above your timeline and float back down. We're just testing for now. Float up above your timeline. Look to the past. Now turn around, look to the future. And look down. Look at now. Look at yourself now. And come back down. And I'd like for you to now think about the problem that you're releasing today, that limiting belief, that negative emotion. And ask your unconscious mind this question. What is the root cause of this problem? The first event, which when disconnected, will cause the problem to disappear. If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth? If it was before, was it in the womb or before? If it was in the womb, what month? If it was before, was it past life or passed down to you genealogically? If you past life, how many lifetimes ago? If it was genealogically passed, how many generations ago? Just pick a number. If it was after your birth, what age were you? Just pick a number. Keeping your eyes closed, if you have the root cause, raise your hand. Raise one hand. I see most hands up. I'm going to repeat this. What is the root cause of this problem? The first event, which when disconnected will cause the problem to disappear. The negative emotion or the limiting belief. Was it before, during, or after your birth? First thing that comes to mind. If it was before, was it in a womb or before? If it was in a womb, what month? If it was before, was it past life or passed down to you genealogically? If it was past life, how many lifetimes ago? If it was genealogical, how many generations ago? Just pick a number. If it was after, what age were you? Excellent. Now I'd like to ask your unconscious mind to float up in the air, above the timeline, into the past. Start floating towards the past, towards the event, and float down into the event. And notice what emotions are present. And for those of you releasing limiting beliefs, note if you are aware of the decision that was made there too. The decision that I'm not strong enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not going to be able to be successful. Just include the limiting belief here. Wind the movie of your memory until you come to the time of the decision, the time of the limiting decision. If you are releasing a negative emotion, just notice that emotion. For those of you releasing negative beliefs, if you have found, you have noted the time of the decision, please raise your hand. Excellent. Wonderful. Now I'd like for you to see through your own eyes, take a look around the root cause. And for one last time, notice what emotions are present as you're doing a 360. And we're going to be here just for a few seconds so you get associated with the emotion so that the release happens easily and effortlessly. Excellent. Now float up above your timeline and looking towards the past, start floating towards the past and go to a position in the past well before the beginning of the event or any of the chain of events that led to that event. And turn and look toward now. Preserve the positive learnings. Ask your unconscious mind, what is there to learn from this event? The learnings of which will allow the emotions and the limiting decisions to release. So just tell your unconscious mind to preserve the learnings. So you are above your timeline, the root cause is below you and in front of you. And I'd like for you to start floating higher and farther back, allowing the emotions and a limiting decision to release. Some of you may have felt a shift. Maybe the emotions have started released, if not already released. If the emotion has not released yet completely, float higher and further back. Float higher and further back and allow the emotions to completely release. Now. What is there to learn from this event? The learning of which will allow the emotions and the limiting decisions to release. Won't it be better to preserve the learnings than the emotions? If you let go of the emotions and preserve the learnings, you will have learned what you needed. Flow higher and further back, allowing the emotions to completely release now. Not letting go of this emotion is in direct conflict with the highest prime directive of the unconscious mind, which is to preserve the body. This emotion and this limiting decision, though getting results, does not preserve the body. It hurts the body. Wouldn't it be better to let go of the repressed emotion and get the same results in some other way? Keep floating higher and farther back, allowing the emotion and the limiting decision to completely release now. Excellent. Flow higher and further back. The root cause is below you and in front of you. And you're floating higher and further back, allowing the emotion and the limiting decision to completely release now. If the emotion has completely released, please raise your hand. Excellent. If it hasn't released, we're going to now all of us float down inside the event, looking through your own eyes and check on the emotions. Are they there or have they disappeared? If they are, if there's any emotion left, I'd like for you to flow higher and further back, allowing the emotions to completely release now. Excellent. Now float down inside the event again, looking through your own eyes, and check on the emotions. Are they there or have they disappeared? How about the decision? Did it disappear too? If the decision has disappeared, please raise your hand. Excellent. Keep your eyes closed, stay in the exercise. We're about to end. Now, I'd like for you to float up above your timeline and come back to now, only as quickly as you allow all of the events between then and now to reevaluate themselves in light of your new choices. And let go of the negative emotions on those events. And preserve the learnings. Like a domino effect, you allow the emotions to let go and release, and allow each event to reevaluate itself all the way back to now. And if you're releasing a negative emotion, allow the negative emotion to completely release on all subsequent events, like a domino effect. And come back to now when you're ready, and come back into the room. Preserving all those learnings. Does anyone smell popcorn? No? Okay, I just had to ask. I'm required by my certification law to ask a question to break state. So that's a question my teacher asked. Do you smell popcorn? So we break state with that question. That was a big one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So for those of you who release limiting belief, how do you feel about that old belief?
Not angry anymore, I guess. There's no anger.
It won't hold me back.
No.
Yeah, it feels more neutral now. You know, it's not so upsetting.
Wonderful. For those of you who released a negative emotion, can you remember any event in the past where you used to be able to feel that old emotion and go back and notice if you can feel it, or you may find that you cannot? So go ahead and try that. For those that release a negative emotion, can you remember any event in the past where you used to be able to feel that old emotion and go back and notice if you can feel it, or you may find that you cannot? Excellent. Now let's future pace for those of you that release limiting beliefs. I want you to go out into the future to an unspecified time in the future, any time, a time that will be most appropriate. And imagine a time that if that old belief had happened in the past, it could happen again. And what do you do instead? So shout it out. For those that release a limiting belief, go out into the future to an unspecified time that will be most appropriate. And if it had happened in the past where you had that old belief, imagine a time when something like that could happen again, and what do you do instead? Shout it out.
I'm a hurdle jumper, right over it, and right over them. I saw that in when I had my eyes closed too.
You go back to that timeline exercise and you think about what you learned just now about how to look at it differently.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now let's future pace for the ones that release negative emotion. I want you to go out into the future to a specified time in the future, which if it had happened in the past, you would have felt inappropriate or unwarranted, and the name of that emotion. And notice if you can find that old emotion, or you may find that you cannot. So go ahead and do that. Go to a time in the future that, any time in the future that if you had had that old emotion in the past, you would have felt inappropriate or unwarranted fear or anger or guilt. And notice if you can find that old emotion, or you may find that you cannot. Excellent. Come back to now. That concludes the release work.
Thank you.
That was
You're
awesome.
welcome. You're very welcome. We went over several minutes. It's 7:41, 10:41 in the East Coast. Rosanna, how you doing?
Good, very good. I'm ready to hit the floor running. I have training this weekend, so I'm excited.
Wonderful. Would it be okay, Rosanna, if I give out my cell phone number for people to text me so I can send them a link to my complimentary classes?
Sure, 100%.
All right, cool. So grab your cell phones.
And Fernando, I
And-
know there's a few people that, I don't know if you can share the recording in our group so that people can watch.
Yes, I can. So go ahead and text me first, last name, and LINC. This is the name of this group, correct? Yeah. So LINC, name, first, last name, what you released today, to 407 466 4718. 407 466 4718. One more time, 407 466 4718. And I'll text you a link to my complimentary classes that you can attend. You can bring loved ones as your guests. There's a class on Monday specifically that'll be on PTSD. So if you know any veterans or anyone that has had symptoms of PTSD, we're going to be doing work for that. And there's a class about every day. Some days there are 2 classes. So let's complete this. Let's just do popcorn style. Or actually, one word. Let's do one word from everyone. Adrian, one word from you.
Relief.
Virginia,
Word.
What?
one word. One word to close out.
Freedom.
Freedom. Colleen,
Happy.
happy. Sherry,
Lighter.
lighter. Andrea Stevens,
Peace.
peace. Jillian Baker,
Impactful.
impactful. Rosanna,
Energize.
energized. Andrea Burnett,
Release.
release. Gina,
Openness.
openness. Wonderful. The other was on mute. So let's. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to Rosanna for being a leader, for creating this miraculous space. This was us. This was us. We did this together.
Thank you so much, Fernando. You were awesome.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. Your voice is the most like calming thing. Wow. It's awesome.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. We did this together. This was teamwork. Yes, I was leading, and we're all on this planet together. So this is working, co-facilitating, is co-creating. So was a gift you gave me. So I'm excited for today. I'm
Thank
excited
you.
for you. Looking forward to seeing more of you in the classes. Thank you again, Rosanna, for inviting me.
Thank you for coming on so early in the morning out there in California.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. It was
Thank you so much.
I could barely sleep last night because I was so excited for this morning. Yeah. So go ahead and send me a text so I can reply to you with that link. And you know, I've been playing this song here to kind of like to end our sessions. I'm gonna play it just a little bit as we start leaving the call. So it's good to move the body when we go through something like we just did. So let's, you know, as you leave the Zoom room, get your body moving. Get your body moving, and this might help you get your body moving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for connecting us, Virginia. It was great. Everybody appreciated it.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was great.
It really was. It was good. At first, I was like,